So in terms of my experience using Partipost, it is a fairly straightforward process and it's an app that is very easy to use. And whenever they post new campaigns, they give you the updates as well. But I wanted to talk about a few things that you would need to be careful of or be wary of when using Partipost. Actually, that sounds a little bit too scary. Okay. Most of you would already be posting on Instagram or doing IG stories to update your friends on what you're having for lunch or what your exercising routine is. But what if you could actually monetize those Instagram posts and stories? Keep watching to find out. So in 2020, I've been testing Partipost, which is basically a mobile platform that basically connects brands and everyday people like you and I together to do brand campaigns which pay out anywhere from $2 to $100 and sometimes over to $200. And what they have done is actually to pair up with brands in food, beauty, cleaning products, sometimes fashion, and there really is a campaign for most people. And even if you have a very low amount of followers, even with 100 or 200 followers, it's still possible to do campaigns. So in terms of a brief nutshell of how Partipost works, so the first step is Partipost to actually post the campaigns. The second step is people like you and I would apply to participate in those campaigns, and we'll basically look at the campaign requirements. So it could be anything from Instagram post to an Instagram story to a Facebook post. And what we do is to create content that would be then submitted to the brand. And once the brand approves that, you can go forth to load it on your Instagram or Facebook. You then send them the link, the brand approves the submission and tracks the Instagram post or the Facebook post for engagement. And after all that is done, that is where you get your payout. So for example, there will be a post that I did for Capital Land, and this was actually to talk about their Capital Eats app where you can actually order food from Capital Land malls. And for that, basically I just purchased almond butter from one of the shops at Dhoby Ghaut at Plaza Singapura, and then I actually took a picture of it, posted it on Instagram, posted it on Facebook, and I probably got around $50 to $60 for the engagement. So it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely not something to quit your day job for, because we're not like mega influencers. We're not influencers who are charging like $500 a post or $1,000 a post, but it's still an interesting way to monetize your IG, and it's also an interesting way to discover new brands or new discounts that merchants are actually having. So in terms of profile requirements, just as how you and I are actually choosing the brands that you want to work with, conversely, the brands also have requirements of the profiles that they're looking for. So for example, there are certain brands that I haven't been able to work with or do a campaign with because they're looking for profiles like young moms or moms with young children. They're looking for males, they're looking for people who are under 20. So each brand is looking for a certain demographic depending on the product they're looking to sell. So always remember that this is like a two-way kind of thing. So just as you're choosing the campaigns, the brands are also looking at what you're doing. So in terms of my experience using Partipost, it is a fairly straightforward process and it's an app that is very easy to use. And whenever they post new campaigns, they give you the updates as well. But I wanted to talk about a few things that you would need to be careful of or be wary of when using Partipost. Actually, that sounds a little bit too scary. Okay.
Take them off.
In terms of an overall review, I would say that Partipost is a very easy app to use, and it's especially helpful because Partipost pushes their updates. So whenever they have new campaigns, new brands that they're working with, they usually have an update through their Telegram group on the new campaigns that are coming up. But with that said, I would say there are certain things or certain tips that you should remember when it comes to using Partipost effectively. So the first thing that you need to know is that some campaigns fill up very fast. I've seen some campaigns where they come up, it could be things like purchasing like the new Kellogg's brand of cereals, and literally for me in half a day, the submissions would be full. And this campaign would involve you going to the supermarket to buy your Kellogg's cereal first, and then you need to post your proof of purchase before creating content. But maybe like Kellogg's cereals is something that most people buy, so when that campaign comes up, a lot of people rush in to go and buy cereal and post the proof of purchase, and because of that, let's say if they had a quota of like 20 people, that gets filled up very fast. So if that campaign is something that you're looking to do, I would say one tip is not to delay, especially if you know if it's going to be a very popular campaign, just not to delay, go and buy whatever you need to buy and go and post that proof of purchase if that's really a campaign that you're doing. Personally, because I don't really eat cereal, so that wouldn't be a campaign that I'm doing anyway. So that's one to look out for. The second thing to be aware of is to be very wary of deadlines, and this is something that I've done as well, where I have missed the deadline, and because of that you're not able to get the campaign done fully, and you're not able to receive the payout. So when it comes to Partipost and the brands that they're working with, it's very important because they want certain content to be out by a certain deadline, which totally makes sense because you're running a marketing campaign. So I would say it is very important to really look at the deadlines. Usually for each campaign there are several steps, and it's very key to see what are the various deadlines for the respective steps and to keep in line with those deadlines so that you don't miss anything and make sure that everything is done properly. Because one thing is posting the content or submitting the content for posting. You need to wait around, I think you need to wait around 7 days for the brands to give you an approval on that content before they come back to you and say that okay, you're okay to post this content now. And if you miss that message, which is maybe what I've done for one campaign, I just missed that message, and by the time I got back to it, I've already missed the deadline. So even if you did buy something for that campaign, you can't finish it. So the brand wouldn't be able to compensate you in any way, because for them that would not be considered a submission. The third thing for Partipost, which is something they advocate as well, is that when you're interacting with a brand, it is quite key that you would already be a supporter of their brand. So it doesn't make sense for me to take up a brand, let's say going back to that cereal campaign. If I wasn't somebody who would enjoy Kellogg's cereal in the first place, I wouldn't purposely go out of my way to buy that cereal just for that campaign. Because if you imagine you bought that cereal, you don't really eat cereal anyway, but then you're going ahead with the campaign. But if you submit it and the brand comes back to you and say that, sorry, we are not approving your submission, or you're too late for the submission, they wouldn't compensate you for buying that box of cereal anyway, and you don't want to be left with a product that you wouldn't otherwise purchase if not for the campaign, right? So I think for me it's very important to actually just support the brands that you already enjoy using, or support the products that you already enjoy using, because that also shows the authenticity behind what you are saying in your Instagram posts. So it doesn't make sense if you're going out there to say that, I love like chocolate cookies, but actually in your real life you're actually not really eating chocolate cookies. So I think it's important to just keep that in mind. So to date I've earned $190 from doing Partipost campaigns, and these are for the brands that I've enjoyed so far. And I really like using Partipost because not only does it allow me to earn some extra money on the side to pay for your bak chor mee or things like that, it allows you to actually discover new brands that you might enjoy. So for example, I've discovered a natural cleaning brand that I really like, of which products that I really like, and I also discovered like the pain relief balm that's been very effective as well. So I'm really happy with the experience, and I think it's a good app to use as long as you keep to the deadlines. I think that is very important to just remember what the deadlines are. Just be wary that the approval process could take some time for Partipost. It's around like 7 days, because when you approve a content, just make sure to keep tracking and to see when the content is approved, because once it's approved, they usually would want you to post as quickly as possible. So yeah, that's all I have to say for Partipost. Are you a Partiposter as well? Just comment and say hi in the comment section. And remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time. Beep, 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 beep.